What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be doing our final battles for the Great League as the rotation is today. My apologies for saying it was yesterday. Rotations are on Tuesdays now instead of Mondays for this season. Now, this team is pretty spicy and very fun, and if you guys didn't know, I do have a podcast called the Catz podcast that I host with Caleb Pang, and during that last podcast episode, he suggested that I try Banette. He's been having a lot of fun with his Shadow Banette, and I believe he has a video coming out soon, so I decided to try a team with Banette. This is not the team that he used, this is a team that I decided to try. So we got Shadow Poliwrath, Drapion, and Banette there on the safe swap. Banette does an incredible amount of damage, and a lot of battlers are not prepared for it. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team and these battles. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, getting into the first battle here. We have Poliwrath on the lead versus Venusaur. A terrible matchup when we don't have, it's a fresh fight basically. So we're going to swap right away into Banette, start getting ahead on energy, and they decide to bring in a Sableye. Now, Banette has access to Shadow Ball, everyone, so I want to just prepare you right here. Get ready. Boom! Nearly one-shots the Sableye right there. They were not prepared. Banette is an absolute glass cannon. Now, we do see Venusaur decide to come in and farm down. Perfectly fine for us. We have a Drapion in the back. Now, also reading Venusaur and now Sableye, it is safe to assume that there is a Galarian Stunfisk, Bastiodon, something like that in the back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to overload on energy. They're going to go ahead and go for charge moves. We're going to save our shields for Poliwrath versus that Pokemon, whatever's in the back. And we're going to go ahead and go for the crunch now, just to try to force a shield here from Venusaur or get it incredibly low. Let's see what they decide to do. They're going to go ahead and shield, which is perfectly fine with me. They're going to swap now into Galarian Stunfisk. It's a very common line and a very strong one at that, but this team can handle it if we can flip that mid-game like we did. So we're going to go ahead and shield right here. It is going to be the Earthquake, which is a beautiful shield. We're going to overload on energy, and what's great about Poliwrath as well is I like running Ice Punch on it for when I lose lead to Flyers or Grass-type Pokemon. And we land the Dynamic Punch right there, which is beautiful, and we're going to go ahead and go for the Ice Punch. I might have been able to get away with one more fast move, but I did not want to get hit with a Rock Slide, even though it would be resisted. We'll just go ahead and go for Ice Punch here, force that final shield from Venusaur, and then the Drapion as well is kind of close to another charge move. So we're just going to go ahead and try to catch the charge move right now on Drapion. They're going to try to overfarm, but they're not going to be able to, so we can go for the crunch and close this game out. So that is going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. But just goes to show, Banette is a glass cannon, and it can surprise a lot of battlers like we did in this battle. Good game. Alright, moving to the next one, we got Poliwrath on the lead versus Stunfisk. Okay, now this time we have a positive matchup, so things are looking pretty good. We'll have to see what they are going to do. And I need to be prepared for a swap, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Dynamic Punch, but they swap at a perfect time. I overfarmed right there. So good catch by my opponent. So what I need to do now is build back up to Dynamic Punch, then swap into the Drapion. That way I have the energy I need to fight off against Galarian Stunfisk. So we're going to go ahead and let this first charge move go through. It is going to be the Play Rough. Decent amount of neutral damage right there, but we are still sitting in the driver's seat here. We are in control of this mid-game matchup because of our fast and charge moves here versus Azumarill. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Sludge Bomb. It lands as well, so we will be able to farm down. Now, we're likely going to be seeing the Galarian Stunfisk come back in, which means we're going to go for Crunch here. It does neutral damage, has a chance to get that debuff on the Galarian Stunfisk, which will always be very nice. And hopefully we can get to another one in time, but they're going to go ahead and throw their energy. Perfectly fine by me. Now, we need to be careful for whatever is in the back, and we need to have energy on Poliwrath. Remember, we loaded back up to Dynamic Punch, so we're going to go ahead, come in with the Poliwrath right here, overload a bit, and then we're going to throw the Ice Punch now. They know we have Dynamic Punch. We showed it to them on the Azumarill, so we're going to try to get that shield, which we do, saves us a bit of energy, and now we're going to overload and go for a Dynamic Punch here. They decided to stay in a bit too long, so let's see how this plays out. Boom! One shots the Galarian Stunfisk, and we do see a Trevenant now come in. Remember, we still have two shields. This Ice Punch right here, they've already seen it, is going to be doing super effective damage, so we might get a shield right here, which we do. So we're going to go ahead and now swap into Banette and just go for the Shadow Ball. Both Pokemon here are doing super effective damage to each other. Ghost on Ghost battle. So we will shield the Seed Bomb right there, and then just go for a Shadow Ball to close this game out. So that's going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. They had a beautiful catch right there, but ultimately we had the right answers, and we controlled our energy well during that battle in order to win. Good game. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Poliwrath on the lead versus Whimsicott. Terrible lead right here. We're going to go straight into Banette, and the opponent is deciding to stay in, and rightfully so. Look at how much damage Charm is doing. But do they know how much damage we can do here with Shadow Ball? We're going to go ahead and go for it, and boom! One-shots the Whimsicott. They did not respect the damage, and now they have Sylveon. Okay. My fear right here is obviously a triple Charmer team, but thankfully we have Drapion on our side, which is why I paired it with Poliwrath, is because it does really well against the Charmers and Grass-type Pokemon, which Poliwrath is weak to. So we will see an Azumarill now swap in. That's a beautiful catch on them, catching the Crunch. I overloaded a ton, but we still got a shield, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and now overload a lot on energy. Drapion is the Pokemon to win this game for me, so I need to make sure I have plenty of energy, and I'd rather be hit with Bubbles here versus Azumarill than Charms versus Sylveon. So we're going to go ahead and now come in with Poliwrath. We will have to give up a shield right here, but what's great about Poliwrath versus this Azumarill fight is Azumarill so low that a Dynamic Punch should be able to take it out. So we're going to go ahead and overload, that way we can get to a potential Ice Punch versus Sylveon. We're going to throw the Dynamic Punch now to take out the Azumarill, but they decide to shield. A Wincon has appeared. We're going to go ahead and let the Play Rough go. I know I'm going to get boomed. Poliwrath, I'm sorry. Boom! They one-shot me, but Drapion coming in right now, overloading on energy. We'll go ahead and go for the Crunch. I didn't want to have to potentially give up a shield if they had Ice Beam, so we're just going to go ahead and throw the Crunch right here. We are very close to a Sludge Bomb. I think one fast move away and we still have a shield. Yeah, that's going to be a good game, very well played. So having the Drapion on the team obviously bodes very well when facing off against Charmers, because Poliwrath is weak to it, which is why I built the line the way I did. Good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Poliwrath on the lead versus Bastiodon. Another very positive matchup right here, which is what Poliwrath lives for. So we'll have to see what they decide to do. They're deciding to stay in, and now they actually swap into a Shadow Vileplume right here, which is great because Ice Punch now is going to be doing super effective damage. We do get a shield, and we're going to go straight into that Drapion. Drapion's going to be resisting Razor Leaf, and we need to make sure we overload a bit on energy right here, and then we're going to go ahead and go for the Sludge Bomb. I want to be able to have enough HP to get off a couple crunches versus Bastiodon, but not too much where it completely farms me down. Now, we boom the Vileplume out of there. We go for the Crunch right away. This does neutral damage here to the Bastiodon. We're also looking to apply those debuffs if we can. Now, it's going to go ahead and farm me down, but obviously a common line that you guys may see is going to be Bastiodon double Razor Leaf user. So we always need to be careful about that. So hopefully we do get shields. Now, Poliwrath with energy is also very good. So we're going to go ahead and just come in, load up, and I believe I am going to give up a shield right here. No, I decided to let it go. I decided to let it go in this one because it's not going to do too much damage. But we do see a Roserade come in, which means we can go for the Ice Punch right here. Again, doing super effective damage. They decide to shield, which is fine. And now we go into Banette to close this game out. We just need to get off this Shadow Ball, and that's going to be a good game. So we will go ahead and shield the Weather Ball right here. Would have still done a nice amount of neutral damage. Shadow Ball now, obviously Roserade has no shields left, so this is going to boom it out of the game. And then we're going to go ahead and go for another Shadow Ball here versus Bastiodon to close this one out. So this team is kind of built to catch those Galarian Stunfisk, those Bastiodon, the Lapras, the Walrein, the Registeel leads, right? Which is why we have it on the lead, why we have the moveset that it has along with Drapion and Banette in the back. So good game, very well played. Okay, moving into the next one, we have, let's see here, we have Poliwrath on the lead versus Lapras. Okay, so another positive lead right here. We're going to make sure we overload on energy and try to not throw when they swap into something that can take neutral resisted damage. But they decide to swap into a Grass-type Pokemon. I believe this is Meganium. So we're going to go ahead and go for Ice Punch, and it is going to be a Meganium. We're going to go for another one right away. I am not too concerned. I want to get myself shield advantage right here, which we do, and now we can come in with Drapion. Yes, Lapras does have energy advantage on our Poliwrath, but honestly, it's going to be fine. I can just go for a Crunch right here and try to force that second shield now from Meganium before they do get to an Earthquake, which will force me to shield. We get the Meganium out of there, which is beautiful. We are going to see the Lapras come back in, so we're just going to go ahead and go for a Sludge Bomb right away. I believe this Lapras is probably building up to that Skull Bash, so we got to try to land our hardest hitting move right here, which we do, and then they're just going to go ahead and throw the charge move. If this is Skull Bash, that's perfectly fine by me. I will let it go, but I'm not going to shield Surfs, and it is going to be the Skull Bash. Boom! Drapion goes down. Now, Poliwrath right here, we're basically even on energy because they did decide to go for the Skull Bash, but we're going to be resisting Surf. This is still going to hurt, but I'm going to let it go. I think we're going to be okay. It still did a decent amount of damage. We're going to overload a bit on energy and now go for the Dynamic Punch to take out the Lapras. So we'll have to see what that final Pokemon is going to be, but we should be all right. Now, the final Pokemon is going to be a Talonflame, so this is going to be very interesting because it's going to basically be Shadow Claw versus Incinerate. So we're going to go ahead and swap into Banette here and just try our best, but these Incinerates are really starting to add up. We're going to go ahead and obviously shield right here. Now, Talonflame has a shield, so it's actually more beneficial for us to not throw Shadow Ball and just Shadow Claw down because we should be able to win, and they do decide to surrender. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played. All right, moving to the next one, we got Poliwrath versus Walrein. Again, another positive lead right here. This is why Poliwrath is built here, to take on these basically anti-flyers while also having Ice Punch for grass. Now, we see Defense Form Deoxys come in, so we're obviously going to let the Banette rip right here. Now, I decide to let this charge move go through. I think we can hold on, and it is going to be a Thunderbolt, but honestly, I should have probably shielded and then overloaded on energy. That way I could hit a Thunder versus Walrein in the back. But boom, Deoxys goes down to the Shadow Ball, obviously. They decided to no-shield it. That's perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead and see the Walrein come in. And they decided to throw energy right away, which I was very surprised about. I thought they were going to farm me down, but that is fine by me. I'm going to bring in Poliwrath right away because Switch Clock isn't up yet. So I'm just going to throw the Dynamic Punch, try to force a shield here, and boom! One-shots the Walrein. Now, final Pokemon is going to be a Pidgeot. So we will throw the Ice Punch here for super effective damage. Again, why we run Poliwrath with Ice Punch? We get a shield, go straight into that Drapion. Now we're going to go ahead and go for Crunch first. I'm hoping we can potentially apply a debuff here. And if we do get a shield, we will be going for Sludge Bomb. So we do get the shield and we do get the defense drop, which is perfect. We obviously don't want to get one shot by a Brave Bird right here. It's most likely going to be Feather Dance, but that's okay. I will shield as I can easily double shield here, go for Sludge Bombs, and kind of close this game out. So here comes the first Sludge Bomb. Going to do a decent amount of neutral damage, but not enough to KO it. And then we just need to get to a Crunch now, and that is looking to be a good game. Very well played. We'll give up our final shield to make sure Drapion can get off that Crunch to close this game for us, and that is going to be a good battle right there. So, again, this team has some very hard-hitting moves on the meta. Think about Azumarill getting hit with Sludge Bombs or Thunders, Galarian Stunfisk with Dynamic Punch. You guys can see. So we got Poliwrath now versus Talonflame. Somewhat of a neutral matchup right here. Hopefully, we can threaten with a potential Scald. I think that's what I'm going to try to go for. So I'm going to build up some extra energy and now go for an Ice Punch. Still does neutral damage, but I really want them to potentially shield right here. And we do get the shield, which is actually very nice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and no shield. I think it might just be a Flame Charge, but no, it's a Brave Bird. Boom! Poliwrath goes down. That is not looking good. We're going to come in with the Drapion, but they swap right away into a Clefable, so this is actually looking very good for us. We're going to go ahead and go for Sludge Bomb right here. Obviously, we'll one-shot the Clefable. They decide to shield, which is fine by me. I will go for another one, and then we will see the Talonflame likely try to come back in, but I still have my switch clock up. So boom, Clefable goes down. We're going to swap right into Banette, get ahead on energy, and try to throw the Shadow Ball as quickly as we can. Obviously, now we will be shielding. We don't know what that final Pokemon is in the back, but I think Banette should be able to handle it. We'll throw the Shadow Ball right away. I do not want to get hit with Incinerate damage, especially from a boosted Talonflame. So we're going to be able to take out that Talonflame there. And the final Pokemon is actually going to be a Whiscash. Was definitely not expecting that, but this is still perfectly fine with me. We're going to go ahead and shield and then go for a Shadow Ball here. This is still going to do a lot of neutral damage. Banette, like we said earlier, is an absolute glass cannon. You guys have seen how much damage it can pump out in some of these matchups. So Shadow Ball does land right there, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. I believe that was the final one. Yeah, that was the final battle. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, this is the last day of Great League before we roll into Ultra League meta later today. So, if you guys want to try a Banette or try different variations of teams of Banettes, it's really fun. Absolute glass cannon, but it can boom a lot. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.